Not just front seat passengers, but back seat passengers will also have to wear seat belts now. The failure to do so will attract penalties. These guidelines have come in the aftermath of the road accident that killed former Tata Group chairman Cyrus Mistry. Experts and critics have pointed out loopholes in the transport and traffic control system. So far, when passengers in the front seat do not wear their seat belts, they're usually alerted with a seat belt alarm. Now, the same will happen if passengers in the back seat also do not wear their seat belts. In fact, the Ministry of Transport has requested automakers to come up with seat belt alarms even for the rear seat. It will now be necessary for all passengers to wear their seat belts. Undoubtedly, you'll attract a fine if you don't. And going forward, we might see cars rolled out with seat belt alarms even for the rear seats, and SUVs likely to come out very soon with that feature.
It's good because anyway, even if you're sitting in the back, you still get hurt if you're in an accident.
Definitely, it should be mandatory. He's the only reasonable minister perhaps in the central cabinet. Of course, that is my personal view. Now, we have to do something to get this thing out. I told my son, so we'll do it within a couple of days. It should be done, and I will do it also.
While there is already a law which makes seatbelts mandatory for all passengers, it is hardly enforced. It is mandatory for everyone in a car to wear seatbelts, including that for children. Section 194(b)(2) of the Motor Vehicles Act states that if a child below the age of 14 is in the car, then he or she must also wear a safety belt. Failure to do so can attract a fine of up to 1,000 rupees. So what about kids under the age of 14 then? Or if you have a 5-seater, or if you have a pet, then what are you going to do? In India, there is no such mandate for them. Even though the rule has been in place, there was never really any enforcement. Internationally, though, there are rules in place. For children in Canada, every person in the vehicle has their own working seatbelt. Passengers under the age of 16 wear their seatbelts properly in their vehicle. Children are secured in an appropriate child car seat or a booster seat, as it's called. In United Kingdom, children under 12 years of age should be seated in the back seat of the vehicle. And in the United States, children aged between 4 to 6 who weigh at least 40 pounds or up to at least 60 pounds must ride in a belt positioning booster car seat. Children over the age of 6 and weigh 60 pounds not riding in a car seat must use a lap shoulder seat belt. Rules introduced in Australia in 2013 prohibit a pet being in the driver's area of a vehicle for safety reasons. The driver must have clear vision of the road and other vehicles in front of him or her, as well as behind or either side of them. The police can give a driver an infringement notice if your dog is jumping around the car, allowing a dog to hang out at the car window, or even creating distraction. It is illegal. Well, it seems that the car manufacturers will have to restructure the car's interiors and introduce seat belts for all available spaces in the near future.
For more informative videos like this, keep watching India Today News Mo.